Hello wizards, how are you doing today? Today I want to share with you why you should not overshare your spiritual gifts and spiritual knowledge with other people and the reason behind that, right? So you will notice that as you're moving forward in your spiritual awakening journey, that in the beginning stages, it happens that you will feel that when you see somebody going through a particular challenge, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a family member, or maybe it's somebody close to you, and you see them day in, day out, they are going through the challenge, they are experiencing the whole thing, and you know what is going on, or what could be going on that is acting as a catalyst behind the experience which they are perceiving as the challenge, because that all challenges are just a way for our higher self to help us learn a lesson, integrate it, and up level it. Now if you know this, the natural tendency and the inclination, the desire that comes, if I just tell them, what's going on, what is behind it, and tell them how to do the inner work, how to visit your shadow, how to heal your inner child, how to stay in the center, and all that stuff that I have learned in my journey, and that will help them get out of the muck. And wouldn't that be awesome? And that is the exact reason that goes on behind all of us when we are about to overshare our spiritual gifts and knowledge. Now you might be thinking that should we not share our spiritual gifts and knowledge? Are you asking me to not share my gifts with people? That is not the point. I am here sharing my spiritual knowledge with you. What does that say about me? You see, the point is this: to understand when you are helping somebody and when you are not helping somebody. Because if your intention is to help somebody, then you must also understand when, if you do something out of the goodwill and the good intention of helping somebody, might actually hinder the spiritual growth. You see, and that is why many times you will notice when you find yourself oversharing your spiritual knowledge and gifts with somebody, you will notice that it didn't do much at all. Not only did not do much at all in their life, they appear to push away what you're sharing. They are not taking it in, as if they don't need it. And they keep going back into the same cycle of experiences, same cycle of challenges. And you are like, why does this happen? Another thing that happens is, especially if you are noticing people around you going through challenges that that you can help them with, because you have gone through them, you have learned your lesson. And especially family members and close friends, when you see them, you know it becomes like, we feel that the dilemma of being an ascended one, because you are an ascended one. Ascended means, or does not mean, that you are completely enlightened being, have reached the top level of the game. That's not the point. You have ascended from where you are. You moved from third grade to sixth grade, sixth grade to eighth grade. You're moving, so you are ascending. You're getting promoted to high stages of consciousness, so you are an ascended one. So the dilemma of the ascended one is like this: like, people that are close to me, they're like students. You're the eighth grader, and they're like the third grader. So you are an eighth grader thinking all the third graders are living with me, and I can help them with their studies, I can help them with so much, and apparently I cannot, because it's just not happening. And whenever I do that, things does not work out. And that's the dilemma you will feel, or you might feel, that what is the point of being born in a family when I cannot help my family? Or what is the point of being born in this society or with the group of people I'm close with, whom I can directly help, directly, because I'm physically there. They get to spend time with me, you know, and yet I'm shackled. I can't do much. No matter what I want to do, it backfires. Why does it happen? There's a purpose behind it. And this is what I want to share with you, because I've experienced the same things too. You see, the reason it happens is because, think from the perspective that you are an eighth grader, you're living with third graders. And when I say eighth grader, third graders, I'm not saying it from that place, that there are lower gradations of people, higher gradations of people. It's all a journey. If you are learning, you are going to move upgrades. It's how it operates in school. Life is a school. You see, you're learning lessons, you're up leveling, you're getting promoted, you see, into higher stages of consciousness. So yes, if you take it from this perspective, that there are third graders, there are eighth graders, and apparently now if you're an eighth grader, now just think about it. It feels like common sense that you know so much, you can help a third grader with their studies, with their theories, with their concepts, and you can, obviously, right? But the question is not just about helping. It's about how much are you enforcing your support? How much you think that can help them, you see? And that is the problem. You see, if you go to a third grader and you see them, solving some simple multiplication problem, subtraction problem, learning basics of, everything, and you go to them and you know what? You try to tell them, this multiplication, subtraction, whatever you're doing, it will be really quickened if you use this simple, technique that you know. And that technique will help them solve problems so much faster. It's a mental technique or something that you have learned, or some memorization technique you teach them. You visualize this, or you do stuff, like in studies. When you grow up, you know how to quickly do certain things. You learn things on your way, right? And you know that if you teach them, it will help them so much. But they are learning their fundamentals right now, but if you enforce them at the moment, and if it does not resonate with them, and it is not the appropriate time and place to do that, what you will do is you are going to force them to miss out their foundations. It's like their pillar. You build a pillar or a building on a strong foundation. If you try to share about the high level stuff when they're just building their foundation, they can be very overwhelmed because they have no clue, like, why would I even need that? Because I don't even know how to multiply basically or subtract basically. I'm still learning that. I don't have any need for quick solving and all of that stuff. Now, I'm not saying that there will not be, a kid who is just ready, who is just like, yeah, I know this stuff, and it would be really cool to know the advanced level stuff. There is always going to be that kid who would like to know that stuff. They are wanting to accelerate because they have already built a foundation. They are the good ones, right? So when, let's say, a student from a higher grade approaches them, or they approaches a higher grade student, and they ask for, can you help me with some cool stuff that I can, that will help me accelerate my studies, help me improve. And when they share, they take whatever that connects with them at their journey, what is relevant for them, integrate them with what they have already learned, and that helps them. But most often what you'll find that most students are building their foundation there. Exactly, that is what is going on. Think of all the people who are around you, your family members, your friends, the people who are close to you, living in your physical vicinity, and think of them not as people but as students of life. That will change everything. You will see. And if you ask this question, if they are students of life, which they apparently are, if they are students in the spiritual awakening journey, which they are, what grade they are in, what lessons they are learning, what are some of the things that I have learned, and what can I see? And you will see the clear, massive difference from who you are, where you have come, lessons you have learned, how much of leveling you had, and where they are at. That difference will be made clear by just asking this question. If they're student of life, what grade they are in right now, where they are at right now, from where I am, from where I am, where they are right now. And you will see the distance in terms of evolution very, very clearly. Once that evolutionary distance is seen and perceived, you will not feel nearly as inclined to overshare spiritual knowledge and gifts, because you know that the difference between you and the third grader, if you're an eighth grader, is there are 5 grades in between, 5 years of curriculum, syllabus, tests, learning, all of those things. Any eighth grader, no matter how ambitious they think they are, how clever or witty they think they are, they cannot teach a third grader to learn all the eighth grade stuff in just one day. It's not possible. It is still a possibility. When I say it's not possible, don't think that it is an absolute impossibility. There's no such thing as that in life, you know, but still it's improbable, you know. And if such a thing is required, the universe will take you towards such a person who can accelerate like that, like crazy. The universe will guide you to that person, and that person will absorb your spiritual knowledge, not just from you, from every other source, and they will, you know, get double promoted, triple promoted, you know, because double promotion apparently happens in school, you know, for good students, you know, and triple promotions and whatnot for the geniuses. So such a person, yes, you'll find yourself that you just taught them as a third grader, but they just absolutely took your knowledge and changed and transformed their life. So that is a possibility, but most often you'll find that to be a rarity. You see, because there's a natural flow of life. Life is a school and it knows what it's doing. You see, so this is what I want to share with you. The, that it's not that you should not share your spiritual knowledge and gifts. Otherwise, what is the point of having all this knowledge and gifts? You know, you see somebody suffering, and if you cannot help them, what is the point? But the thing is, must connect with your higher self. You must pay attention to your inner guidance system when you are feeling the inclination to overshare something, and see whether your higher self is really asking you to go there. Most often it will tell you, no, 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 not this time, not this person, no. But most often you will override in the beginning of your journey. You'll override your higher mind. You'll think like this logically, as we think most often. You're like, you know, this situation fits. I am the right person. This is the right problem. Let's solve it. But there are a lot of different things going on. The person is not ready in their evolutionary journey, and their higher self will tell you no. But usually you will override that guidance of your higher self, and you will overshare. And this is where I want to also understand that there is a value in oversharing also. So while I'm saying do not overshare your spiritual gifts and knowledge, but there is a certain value in oversharing also. What is that? You might be wondering, wow, that is interesting. The value is when you overshare and it does not work, and you see the person not receiving it, or maybe going mad at you, or maybe thinking you're crazy, or just going back to their old business and staying stuck. What happens is that becomes feedback. That solidifies your trust with your intuition and your higher self. That incidence becomes like a feedback for you to understand, like, oh, apparently my higher self was right. I might not do that in the future. You see? So do not force yourself so much. When I'm sharing that, do not overshare. You know, I'm not saying that do not overshare at all. What I'm saying is that pay attention to what your higher self is saying. That's basically what I'm saying. Work in tandem with your higher self. Work in tandem with your inner guidance. You'll be fine. You know, sometimes it will lead you to oversharing. Sometimes you'll feel, man, I felt that strong inspiration to share. That didn't work. Why, higher self, you made me do that? Because higher self wanted you to fall so that you could see the value of that lesson of not oversharing. So sometimes your higher self will take you and ask you to fall. You see, it's like learning a bicycle or a surfboard. You see, so if you are going to learn a bicycle, if you do not fall, it will take a whole lot of time, and that has been in my life. It took me more than a year. Yes, I'm ashamed to say this, because my dad was so overprotective when I was a kid and was learning to ride a bicycle. He would not allow me to fall. And because I did not fall for a long time, did not hurt my knees, nothing, I was not learning. I was not learning to balance my bicycle. Crazy, isn't it? When I actually fell down, the body took feedback and I started learning to balance automatically. It took me almost a year to learn bicycle because my dad wouldn't allow me to fall. He was too overprotective. You see? So when I was about to learn to swim, I was like, Dad, stay away from me. I am not going to allow you to not allow me to, uh, sink and drink water, because apparently that is what I need to do. I need to fall, I need to sink, I need to know my lessons, because otherwise swimming will take me also a year, and I don't want that. And apparently I learned to swim in a matter of 7 days. 1 year, 7 days. See the difference? So when I'm saying do not overshare, sometimes your higher self will take you and make you fall. So don't think in those moments, why on earth, higher self, you made me overshare stuff? Because it wanted you to see what happens when you do that. That is your quickest way to integrate those lessons. Falling is learning. You see? So don't fear falling down, because apparently, remember, if you ever feel like you're making mistakes, you overshared and you feel like, oh, that should not happen, my life should be perfect, come back to the bicycle analogy. Think about it. If you do not fall, you don't learn to balance. It's all a balancing act. You see? So this is what I want to share with you. Let me know if all of this resonated with you in a comment. That would be amazing. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you're somebody who has been following my channel and you know that I keep talking about this, the way to maintain your balance, the way to move forward in your spiritual awakening journey in the most harmonious way, is to connect with your inner guidance system, because you have an inner GPS and it's your direct connection with your higher self. See, all the things that I have shared in this video becomes so much easier when you have a clear connect with your inner guidance system. You see, because that is when you will know what to do, when not to do, how to do. Everything becomes much more clear because you're paying attention to your inner GPS. And I teach this inner GPS. This is what I call the inner guidance system. It has 4 inner indicators, and I teach that to my students over a course of 4 weeks. So I have a program where I'm going to teach you about the inner guidance system, because once you have that connect, it will help you align with your path of least resistance and most harmonious evolution, which is your life purpose timeline. Because apparently in 4th density stage of consciousness, all we do is timeline shifting. Timeline shifting is a big concept. There are some videos in my channel where I have shared about that, but essentially, when you connect with your inner GPS, it will help you align with your path of least resistance, and all that is part of your soul's blueprint then can come flowing into your experience. So if you want to know how to connect with your inner GPS, then if you want to join my program, then just send me a direct mail. I have a mail ID in the description of my video. Send me a mail, send me an inquiry that you want to join the program, and I'll share with you how to proceed. Right? And if you're somebody who want to have a private one-on-one coaching session, I am offering 45 to 60 minutes spiritual integration sessions where I can directly take up your challenges and help you directly over a video call on Zoom. So if you want to have a private session, reach out to me again. My email ID is given in the description, and yeah, we'll have a private one-on-one session, right? And if you are somebody who wants to know how you can love yourself, because you have probably heard that in the spiritual awakening journey, it's all about loving yourself. Then very recently I've shared a video where I've shared what can you do to truly love yourself. So if you want to know how to do that, go watch this video. It'll appear in your screen here. Go watch it and have fun. And I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.